So welcome back to Internet Marketing Demystified, presented by me, Eric Concius, and Make Tech Better Incorporated. I like to do this. I'm a big believer in repeating information that I believe is important. This is Marketing 101 Review. And the three big questions, I keep repeating myself, but I think it's important. What are the three big questions that you should be asking yourself when you're doing any sort of marketing? Identify who are you, what are you providing, and what's in it for your target audience. Uh, I started this with the first webinar, and I just think it really bears repeating over and over and over. If you can't succinctly communicate that, your marketing efforts are going to be very challenging. And of course, always ask yourself, what are your marketing goals? If you can be very precise about that, then you could aim your focus on how you execute your marketing strategies with the goal in mind. So you don't start a sale for something that uh, your target audience isn't interested in. Know what they're interested in, make that your goal, and then you can market likewise. So again, I like to review. The first session in this webinar series was on website basics, about how to really make your website into a conversion machine, to make it very clear up front how to communicate to your outward audience what you're about and what it is that you're selling or purveying, what have you. Last week we talked about the role of social media, and this week our focus is on YouTube and video. And then next week, the last session that we will hold is all about email, not solely about marketing, but a lot of other things as well. So our third session is all about video. So let's get into it. So you have a website. We talked about this last week. Now what? So you refer back to the previous webinar, all about how to leverage social media to get the attention of your new audience. But what else can I do to get people's attention? Well, how about a medium which is familiar to practically everyone, is easy and fun to interact with, and will engage your audience? Of course, I'm talking about a video. So let's just articulate some of the benefits of video. Some of this may sound like a duh and obvious, and some of it may not. The source for this information I'm providing is from videobrewery.com, and I highly recommend looking at their blog. It's got some good information. So for starters, there's a huge number of people who prefer to digest information via video. I know I'm one of those people. And let's just take a moment to really say that different kinds of people digest information differently. Think about how you were in school. Some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, some people are blended learners. There's all different ways to consume information. That's why for the more experienced blogger, or people who like to push out things to social networks, they'll do so in the form of written articles and then a video based on that written article, or a podcast in addition, maybe a slideshow, all different things. So video is definitely one of those things that you want to have in your social media and internet marketing arsenal. People tend to engage with video more often than with text alone. Let's think about this. You look at a page of the New York Times. It's very saturated with a lot of text. But on a page with a lot of text, you might see a video. You may be more inclined to click on the video and listen for 30, 45 seconds. As I mentioned in the first series of the webinar, you have about 4 seconds to engage your audience before they bounce. If you can't engage them visually with the text, if you engage them immediately with a video that lasts for 90 to 120 seconds, well, if you just do the math on that, I'm not going to, because my brain is fried at the end of the day. Your return of investment on creating that video by having somebody retain on your page for a lot more than 4 seconds, well, it's a great possible conversion tool, as long as the video is good. 80% of people recall watching a video ad on a website they visited in the past 30 days. Now, do this exercise on your own. Think about your web browsing habits and which websites stood out in your mind. And of those websites that stood out in your mind, which one of those had a video? Videos have staying power. Again, if they are created well and if they're created as engagement tools. It's why videos of kittens get so many hits, because people like looking at videos of kittens. Yes, I'm one of those people. Huh. But if you can recall within the past 30 days watching a video ad on a website, you may be very well inclined to go back to that website. Websites with videos have much greater levels of engagement than those without. This is just statistics here. And quite frankly, the reason now is the time to use video to take advantage of that engagement is simply because now in 2014, the the bolus of your audience, your potential audience, has the broadband internet capacity and has the delivery system and the computers that are modern enough to deliver video of good enough quality to rival televisions. They're delivered in 720p or 1080p, these are high def quality videos equal to that on your television screen. And now with high def monitors, it looks comparable to watching on your television. So why not take advantage of the medium? And intro videos increase click-through rates by as much as 96%. If you know anything about CTR, click-through rates, a 96% increase is ginormous. If you're collecting email addresses, if you are collecting data, if you're trying to sell people on a product or a thing, doubling your click-through rates is extremely important. So why not use video? And another benefit, not mentioned in that specific article, but can't be emphasized enough, is search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization has not been the focus of this webinar, but it is it's an important thing, and the problem is that Google keeps changing the rules. In fact, they just did, I believe it was yesterday. They keep changing the way that Google ranks pages, and you could read about it daily. I'm going to put a tiny plug here for somebody that I partner with for not only my SEO, but the SEO of my clients as well, is a guy named Kyle McMurray with Be First in Line. I mentioned him on the first webinar, and he is the king of search engine optimization specifically for video. Let me just go forward with this slide. With the right setup and the added benefit of YouTube being a Google property, you can win at video SEO where conventional SEO fails. If you're not aware, YouTube is owned by Google. And so when you're trying to do search engine optimization, you can't solely depend on web searches, and not as many people are taking advantage of YouTube as an SEO tool connected with Google as they could be. Let me show you an example of this. It's pretty cool. And this is not Photoshop or anything like that. This is a screenshot. I did this today, and you could do it on your own, so you could see that it's not just me doing this. So Google at your leisure, best website designer Westchester. By the way, if you hopefully you know how to search the internet. If you put a string of words in quotes, then it will look for that exact string in that exact order. So I did it without the quotes. So here we're looking for those 4 words, and the result is this. First page on Google, you'll see a video of me. That's me right there. along with my friend Kyle, who got me there on the first page. And he did this in November, and within about 18 hours, this was on page 1 of Google, and he did that through his techniques of SEO with YouTube. You'll notice that Hudson Fusion has pushed me down to number 3, but for several months I was number 1 on the search. But I also want you to notice that when you are found as a search with a video on YouTube, you see a picture there. So where does your eye go on this page? Despite the fact that I'm number 3 on the first page of Google, I'm still there with a picture. And that makes a huge heck of a difference. So where do we start? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's all about the message and the medium. So the message is about what are you trying to communicate, which we'll talk about in a moment. And what I like to explain to people when it comes to internet marketing, with the exception of one kind of video, which I'll show you in a moment, you really have between 90 and 120 seconds. And even with 90 to 120 seconds, you really have the first 10 seconds of the video. You've got, audio, you've got pictures or moving pictures going on at the beginning. So that will engage people already for about 10 seconds. If you hook them within that 10, the odds are, statistically speaking, that they will watch for the remaining 90 to 120 seconds. So again, that's a lot more than 4 seconds when they get to your website. You need to be terse in your message. You need to be clear. Get across one idea, or two at the most, but just have one real clear idea. And above all, you need to be engaging in your message. That it has to be a message that resonates with the viewer. So if they come to your website, you're a plumber, and you're telling a story about bunnies, you're going to lose them. You have to. They've got a flood. Show some video of somebody underwater with a plunger and looking helpless. Humor can be done in a professional way, depending on your industry, so that you are engaging your viewer. Remember, all of us should have some sense of humor, and just because you're a serious business person doesn't mean your message has to be wholly serious. The medium, which here is the video, you should think about a couple things. Number one, your video quality should be professional. So if you're shooting this video yourself or making it yourself, the quality should be professional. There's no reason today in 2014, even if you shoot on an Android device or an iOS device, the video coming off of that is pretty high quality. But you also want to make sure your lighting is high quality and the frame rate, that is how fast the video is being shot, is of a professional quality. Professional quality doesn't mean that you're necessarily hiring a professional. You may, at the end of this webinar, decide, what, I really need a professional to do this. I want to implement the ideas. But for me to do all of this on my own may be a little unwieldy. The audio quality should be top rate. This is something my friend Kyle, who I mentioned before, talks about a lot. A lot of people talk about, well, what high quality camera should I get? Well, frankly, even if you're using an iPhone to shoot the video, if you don't have very clear audio, bad audio will turn off people. Think about nails on a chalkboard or something like that. If that's, you're looking at a serene picture of the forest, but you're hearing nails on a chalkboard, you're going to bounce immediately. So your audio quality is just as important. Your music, if you have any background music, should go with your message. So if you are a hip happening guy, have some hip happening music. If you're a woman who has a real powerful message, you should have some powerful music, and so on. And your animations, if you use them, should look really sharp. I mentioned last week, or I think 2 weeks ago, the use of Fiverr.com, and you can hire a lot of people to do animations and to make videos for you. Problem is that the quality can vary greatly, and sometimes the animations look like the $5 you paid for them. So you want to be careful of that. Please obey copyright law. Thank you. I mentioned in the webinar about blogging that if you're going to, and I also actually mentioned this more in social media when you're using images to convey a message. Morgfile.com, this is a place to get photographs where the copyrights have been waived by the people who have created the photographs. Your music, if you get it, there are places that have copyright free. They're free of any license to use. Don't think you could just use any music or any image that you want. So that's as much as I'll say there. So what are some use of these videos that you might want to make? Well, number one, you post them on YouTube for the SEO and traffic to your YouTube channel. So if you have a channel, one video will lead to another, presumably, if you have 6, 7, or 8. I would like to encourage everybody here, if you do me the greatest of favors, to go to my own YouTube channel at maketechbetter.com. Up in the upper right hand corner, you'll see a little YouTube icon, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it would greatly help me out. That'd be the nicest thank you could do for me today. There are other places where you could host a video for SEO. That includes Wistia, W-I-S-T-A. They have some pretty good SEO tricks there, as well as Vimeo. Using comments for links to content elsewhere, like on your website. So when you post a video, make sure your comment section is also filled out completely, and the first thing you should lead with, because if you've ever been to YouTube before, you only see like the first 2 or 3 lines of the comment section. The first thing should be a link to either your website or to your call to action, to your landing page. Have a website right there. You can't, when you do annotations on YouTube, you can't link outside. You can only link to another video. But what a lot of people will do is chain link video to video to video to video, and that keeps people watching and engaged with your videos. Posting on the front page of your website for stronger engagement and calls to action. If you go to the Make Tech Better website, for example, what I did is I put my video right at the fold because the first thing I wanted to communicate on my website was our practice areas. That is website design and development and Salesforce. And then I have a call to action for a free ebook. But just below, if you scroll down a tiny bit, depending on the size of your screen, I have my explainer video. I'll talk about that in a moment. And at the end of the video, I have this instant pop-up of a call to action, which is to subscribe to my newsletter. Again, if you're trying to engage your audience immediately, having that explainer video right there front and center is very effective. I'm going to show you an example of that in a moment. Post on your Facebook to lead to your website. Again, having the video is just another tool in your arsenal with your video marketing, your internet marketing, and your social media. So it just makes sense that when you make a video, put it everywhere to get more and more exposure. When getting started with video marketing, there are a few types of videos you can make. And the source for this is searchenginewatch.com. I thought this was a really nice article. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the article. I would, when I share the slides on SlideShare, you'll be able to review this. So let's go over some of the kinds of videos that they suggest. The first is the explainer or tutorial video. An explainer video, in a nutshell, is your elevator pitch. What is your business about? What are you trying to sell? So you're explaining what you're selling. And we're going to dissect the explainer video further on, because I find that the explainer video is the thing that you're going to get most utility out of from this webinar. The second type of video is the webinar. Now, I don't know if you remember, a few minutes ago I said you really only have 90 to 120 seconds for engagement, and the exception is the webinar, I think. And these videos are an hour long, the ones that I'm making. but it's clear that this is a class. So it's got the word webinar in the title of this video, and it should be patently obvious that, or patently obvious, not sure which, that this is, you're in for a session of learning. That's the whole point of it, which is why it's necessarily long. So that's the second type. The third, a review. And anybody can create a review. If you don't have a desire to write a lot of blog posts, but you're okay doing a video review, and you like to review products that are centered around your industry, reviews are great. I mean to make more video reviews, but the reviews that I've written in my blog posts on my website have been great for search engine optimization and great for driving traffic. So since I build WordPress websites, I reviewed the themes at themify.me, and I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that. And so I'm probably going to make a video because they have some new themes up, and I'll probably be doing that. A PSA, a public service announcement. If you're familiar with that, you're announcing a new feature of your business or something like that. It's pretty straightforward. The what SearchEngineWatch.com calls confusingly a culture video, but really I look at it as a personal window into who you are. So even though your business might be, I don't know, computer and IT infrastructure, maybe you want your visitors to know a little bit more about you. What are your hobbies? What's your background? Tell us more about where you came from. That's what they're calling a culture video. A testimonial. Testimonial could take two forms: a video that you're testifying to somebody else's business. So what's great about that is they might use that video that's on your channel on their site, or conversely, and probably what you might expect, a testimonial is somebody else giving testimony to your business. So you're interviewing somebody and say, hey, could you do me a favor, and instead of writing me a recommendation on LinkedIn, make me a testimonial. An animation. An animation here is less a type of or a genre of video as much as a tool, I would say. But I'm sure you could think of, and I'm not talking about cartoons here like Bugs Bunny, but more like these an explainer video or a testimonial or the like, where the text is animated. You might see these whiteboard videos where somebody's hand comes in and uses a dry eraser board and draws out everything that's going on. Those are very popular still. The last kind, not a lot of businesses are taking advantage of this, but because they have followings in both Instagram and Vine, is the short form video. These are 6 to 10 second videos. You can actually create one of these that can go viral. There's a science about it. I don't advise doing that, getting down that rat hole. It really depends on your industry and what you're trying to advertise. But Tropicana has done it. There's a number of high-profile businesses that have taken advantage of it because it is populated with a target audience. Instagram and Vine, if you're looking for the 25 and under crowd, they are there. So I want to look at some real live examples now of some of these videos to show you. This is my fun part. So the first thing I'm going to show you is an explainer video with animation. This, again, I created this all myself. I'll explain how later, but let me play this for you.
You know you need a new website for your business, but where to begin? Getting your neighbor's kid to do it never works. And the free online builders make everyone's website look the same. Why not make tech better with Make Tech Better? Let's get real. Making a website today is a lot more than computer code and looking pretty. You need a marketing tool designed to generate interest in your business and ultimately generate sales. Make Tech Better can make you a great website that will fit your industry, fit your budget, and make you look great. We first get to know you and your industry. Then it's time to find the right look and tech to go into your website. We test the heck out of it to make sure it works right the first time. We also partner with a bunch of experts in their fields to make sure your website gets seen by your future clients. Then we're ready to roll it out. After we're done, we make sure we teach you how to update your site easily and quickly. We've built sites for all sorts of industries and for all sorts of budgets. So let's get started. Let's make tech better. A human touch in a silicon world.
So that video, which I created, is an example. It was obviously animated. Close. It was obviously animated, and it was an explainer video. It was very straight to the point. It stated what the problem was. Somebody's trying to make a website, not sure how to begin, and the solution is me, my services. Thank you, Rebecca. I thought it was cool too, and it was lighthearted. It had some nice, license-free music, and that was not only just about like 90 seconds or so. The other neat thing about that, I have it hosted at Wistia, and I can actually see how long people see that video, how much they're engaged, do they make it to 100%. And what's cool about that particular video is, unlike some of my other ones, people tend to watch it from beginning to end. They might drop off at the very end because it's just that guy waving his hand. I don't need to give you an example of a webinar. You're soaking in it, so we'll move on. What I'm going to show you now, this is another video that I created. I did this for a client of mine who is a roofing contractor. They're called McLeod Brothers. And please, can you still hear me? Please, somebody say yes. I want to make sure. Yes. Okay. Good. And this is a couple of things. This is a culture video, an explainer video, and a testimonial. The reason I'm calling it a culture video, you're about to be introduced to Vinny, and Vinny is the president and owner of McLeod Brothers. He and what we did is I interviewed him. You will never hear my voice. He's just responding to the questions I was asking to him. And you really get to know him, even though he's talking strictly about the business, you really get to know him as a personality. He's in front of the camera. It's not a voiceover artist or anything. It's him. It's an explainer video because he does talk about his business. And it's a testimonial. You'll hear at the very end a testimonial. So I want you to watch for these things, and I want you to think about the effectiveness of this. So I'm going to load this video up.
I'm Vinny Cueva from McLeod Brothers, roofing, siding, and windows. We've been around since 1895. I've been with the business over 14 years. I've been in the industry for over 26 years. We do siding and windows, decks, you name it, the whole renovation product in a house. But we've done additions, bathrooms, kitchens, and we do everything the right way. The first time is the only way to doing it. Well, we use top quality materials. We use GIF. We're a Master League contract. Only 3% in the industry belong to that club. That GIF picks 3% of the contractors around the country, and they feel they're the best contractors for roofing. So we can issue three different warranties. We can issue one warranty that no one else can. It's called a Golden Pledge warranty, which warranties everything: labor, material, everything is covered for life. And we're working in the Better Business Bureau. We got an A+ rating. When we go see a homeowner or any customer, we give them usually 10 pages of references with 150 names, so they have the choice of who to call. Not just a friend or a neighbor. They can call anybody in that. The regular asphalt shingle roofing, but we also do slate, Spanish tile, copper roofing, copper flashing around the chimneys. We do a lot of different things that whatever you need, you can ask us, and we'll have an answer for you. We want to make sure that all our workers are safe at the job site, so they all have to have a harness when they work. Meeting people, meeting the homeowners, meeting anybody I deal with, getting to know them. because we kind of, people create a bond and they like you and then we like them, and they know what we're all about.
Well, our neighbor had gotten our roof done. It looks like a good job. They were happy with him, so we called him as well. So far, so good. Everything's good. He says when he's going to be here, he's been here. Everything he said has come true, so I'm happy about that. He's going to protect it during a rainstorm tonight as well. My name is Jim McCann, and we love McLeod Brothers and the work they've done.
The reason we made this is we're building a website for McLeod Brothers right now, but while it's under construction, he didn't even have a holding page, nothing. So I wanted to make sure that he had something on his website. And this is the only thing you'll see at the website is we're under construction, but there's the video. And at the end of the video, you've got his phone number, so you can call him right away. That video, since it went up just a couple weeks ago, has had over 170 hits, 170 plays, good engagement. And a lot of his present customers have said, wow, they really like that. And I've shown it to a number of people where they said, I want to call this guy. He comes across as friendly, affable. I want to hire him. He not only knows what he's doing, he's proud of it. And I think that's really important. So I thought that this was very successful as an explainer video, and that little testimonial at the end was total accident. You will notice the sound quality in it isn't great. I had purchased a lavalier microphone that day, but it didn't fit into the camera I had. So I was banking on the video. This was a shot on a Panasonic Lumix camera, like it's normally a still camera, but it takes videos. And the video quality on it was quite good. The audio, not so much, but I boosted it as much as I could. How to make a video, oy vey. It may seem like, oh my gosh, that's like crazy to do. But let me take you through some of the steps and break it down. So this is about making an explainer video, and these steps are elaborated on at videobrewery.com. The link is there. And the steps they talk about are to write a script. And you might go, oh my gosh, how am I going to write a script? I've got some links about how to do that. Record the voiceover. So once you have the script, you don't start with the unless of course you're shooting a live video. You start by recording the audio first, and then the video comes afterwards. It's a lot harder to do it the other way around. Then you shoot the video, and it could be live action, you could have stills, you could have animation, whatever it is. Once you've done that, you want to bring that video into an editor. If you're on a Mac, iMovie is super easy to use. I use on the Mac a product called ScreenFlow, which is actually a lot easier than iMovie. It's $99, but it's often on sale. It's a great editor. You could also use Final Cut if you really want to get into it. There are comparable apps on a PC, but everybody's got their own preference. I don't know if there's a free editor on the PC. I'd have to look into that, but there are sub $100 video editors where you can cut and paste some of this stuff and line it up with your audio. And then finally adding music and sound effects. So adding like that soundtrack you heard under both of those videos that you just saw before, you lay that in like last. Now, if you want to do this even more easily and you happen to have an iPad, you might want to try Adobe Voice. And this is a free app, and this makes making a video so ridiculously easy. It's like crazy. First, I want to show you what Adobe Voice is as a product.
We all grew up listening to stories, learning what happened to our hero, understanding big ideas, or getting inspired to take action. But how can you tell your story and get people to listen? Use your voice. Skip the blank page. Just talk to tell your story, one line at a time. Pick from over 100,000 images to show it.
Now, this video that you just saw was created in Adobe Voice. All of that, I take it back. Most of it, I believe. I don't know if all that video footage was in there, but they gave you like a little bit towards the end where in the credits, and that's the same kind of credits you will see. What I want to show you, this is a video that I made. Oh, let's do it over there. This is a video that I made this morning, and what's great about this app is it gives you ideas of what to do for the script. It gives you suggestions for photos or images you might want to use. It's got like 20 themes or something crazy like that. Here's the video.
There's a lot of websites out there. How will yours get seen? Pictures and text can't do it alone, but a video does it just right. See how it's working already? You're watching one right now. Your audience is used to watching videos because they already watch TV. So let's get started. Make a video today.
So all of that was done from my iPad. I think I might have done it while I was like getting out of bed or something like that. Oh wait, let me close that and stop the screen share. Yeah, no, I know the sound is horrible, but in the replay you'll be able to hear it. I was just trying to demonstrate what it looks like, and what's cool about it is it really does look. It looks and sounds professional. I can't demonstrate it on this particular webinar. I'm going to try to fix that for the next one. So that was the video. Here's a list of some really awesome resources I'd like to recommend. So I mentioned before, you have to write a script. So how can you write a great explainer script? This is a link from demoduck.com, which I think has a good outline for you. This is a great article from Video Brewery about making videos aimed specifically at B2B, which is business to business, and B2C, business to customer or client videos. You may want to target them differently depending on your goals and your objectives. So again, this will all be in the slides I'll provide at the end of this. You can learn the specifics of how to make a killer explainer video from Miguel Hernandez. Miguel Hernandez is the owner and CEO of Grumo Media. And if you like my explainer video from the Make Tech Better website, I took a class from udemy.com. And P.S., if you're not familiar with Udemy, I highly recommend going there. They're running a sale right now, 70% off a lot of their classes. It's self-paced online classes. You pay money and you could sign up for anything. You could learn a new language, you can learn computer code. Well, Miguel gave a great class about how to make a great explainer video. It lists at I think $200 to take the class, and it's very intensive. He gives you you getting your money's worth from his class. He takes you step by step how to make a really effective script, how to make it casual, humorous, but on point and professional. He shares with you all the tricks that he uses to make his explainer videos, which can run up to $10,000 or more when he does everything, tip to tail. Another really important thing is to get subscribers. You want to get more people to watch your videos and to share them. And so at realseo.com is a great article about how to get subscribers to your YouTube channel. So now I'd like to open it up. I'm going to change a setting on the meeting to Q&A mode.
Attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
So now you have the option to unmute yourself, or you could type a question or two or three. This is my favorite part of this. It makes me feel like I'm teaching something and it's raising some questions for you. So you could ask me, what color socks I've got. I don't care, but if you could ask something, that'd be great. Where do you get music for your video? Excellent. So if you're using Adobe Voice on the iPad, Adobe Voice comes with stock audio. I think they have about 20 different clips that you could use, which are license free. But for my videos, if you just Google free, free music, soundtracks, free music soundtracks. There's the place I like to go is oh yes, it's Incomp Tech. I'm going to type that out for you. The place I go to is incomptech.com. There's this guy named Kevin McLeod. All he requires is that you give him a citation in your video annotation, and he's got tons of background musics to use, which is great. Um, Rebecca asks, are iPads good to use for any and all of these videos? It depends what you're using to make the video. iPad does have a version of iMovie. I've actually made some really cool, quick movies in iPad that I think are very effective. Everything all depends. Uh, okay, so Michelle asks, why is it that when you did a search on your video, it came up number 3, and when I Googled it, it came up number 6? I would have to make sure if you're typing best website designer Westchester, and I'm doing it, it came again number 3. Google likes to shake things up. As long as it's on the front page, I don't worry so much about that. So when you secure a position, this comes to search engine optimization, when you quote unquote secure a position on a page of Google, it's always fluid. It doesn't always stay in that same spot, and it always depends on how Google changes the rules. Paul asks, what is recommended length of video for YouTube? Well, I say for the explainer videos, you really don't want to go beyond 2 minutes. The one that I made for McLeod Brothers is clocking in at 2 minutes 16 seconds. And what you have to, I always tell people, when you watch videos, where do you get impatient? When do you bounce? Will you watch a whole video from beginning to end, or are there some videos that you bounce off of? If if you're the kind of person that you feel like your clients are like, and you watch 5-minute videos, then that might be good. A lot of it depends on the subject. Are you looking to explain something or review something? And in your explanation, does it require a lot more steps? Are you teaching somebody something? If you're doing a cooking video, that might be a 10-minute video, and you might have a lot of engagement because you want your people to watch it. Paul also asks, what are ways to make videos go viral? Well, isn't that the $64 question? Somebody actually made a video of all the components of viral videos. So it's like you have to include a fuzzy cat. Yeah, thank you, Robert. Exactly right. You have to include cats. The thing is, having a marketing video go viral is not necessarily your objective. What your objective is to get your video into the hands of your activated clientele. So you don't necessarily want, hundreds of thousands of hits. That might not translate into sales unless, and I mentioned this on the first webinar, your product is your blog. If your product is your internet content, so for example, you have advertising on your YouTube videos, and you're banking on the income generated from those videos, then yeah, you want your videos to go viral. But let's face it, we're not Beyonce, we're not cute fuzzy cats, and by the way, there's tons and tons and tons of videos of cats. I've posted videos of cats, I'm embarrassed to admit. And on my personal YouTube channel, the things that have the most hits are like I'm a barbershopper. So I have videos of my barbershop quartet. That gets some hits. Of my own compositions, I've got 1 or 2 videos that have 1,000 hits. Um, you know, I don't give any sort of pretense to think that my videos are going to get tens and thousands of hits, and therefore that's going to translate into business. What I do care about is who are the demographics, and what's great about YouTube is they have a lot of analytics. You can see if they're logged in and watching your video, what is the gender of your viewer, what is the age of your viewer, what country are they in. So for example, let's say my video goes viral But in Thailand, they're not going to purchase my web building services. So it's not good to go viral in a market that is not going to consume my product. If the object here, and the object here to be clear, is for marketing purposes, is my video targeted at my audience? And then is it viral amongst my audience? But if you do want to get the word out about your video, and this is true of your social media and your blogging, is when you post these things, first of all, make sure the video is pushed out not just on YouTube, but also on Facebook, also on Twitter, and also on your website. That helps your backlinks. That's generating more links to your content, which is important, so it gets seen more. And then also make sure that your fans retweet it, push it out there. That's another good way to get things going. Also pay attention to how popular and how often things are getting seen of yours depending on the time of day you publish them. I've seen a lot of studies that say Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard is a good time to publish things. Maybe even a little bit before that, maybe 8:30 in the morning, and around 5 p.m. You can do statistics on your own. Start sharing content through your social media. Share your videos through your social media, and experiment with the times of days. I wouldn't publish, if you could help it, anything like around midnight or 2 in the morning. No one will see that. It will get buried by other stories that get published in the morning. So really do pay attention to the times that you publish things. And viral is going to be relative for you. You never know what's going to go viral. Pratfalls, somebody photobombing the president, or Ellen DeGeneres. You never know. And the thing is that the thing that did go viral won't necessarily go viral again. The big thing several years ago were flash mobs. But now everybody makes a flash mob video, so they're not necessarily going to go viral because they're not novel anymore. Don't try to out-comedian the comedians. Don't try to outproduce the professionals. You won't be successful. If you want to do that, then you have to hire somebody to kick yourself up a notch. This is intended to introduce you to the medium, see its potential, have some tips about how to do this on your own, and then what to do next if you want to go somewhere else. So if you've enjoyed the third webinar of this series, I'm going to ask you to please once again like us on Facebook, share with your friends a link to our next webinar, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. I only have 1 subscriber to the YouTube channel right now. It's a relatively young channel, but the subscriber is me. So if you go to maketechbetter.com and go to the upper right hand corner, you'll be able to subscribe there. The next webinar is next Thursday, June 5th. It's at 7 p.m. and it's all about email. Welcome back, Michelle. I saw you dropped out for a second. And super secret bonus. If you've registered for this and our last webinar, that is the one for next week, you'll be emailed a special offer. Watch for it after next week. So only you guys on this webinar, and anybody else that's registered, a couple people registered but wasn't able to attend tonight, you will be offered a super secret bonus. So look for that. I want to thank you again, and thank you for your patience. I'm sorry about that dropout. I'm glad I didn't really do too much after the dropout. So we really didn't lose much except for time and a little frustration. So thank you again for your patience and for sticking with it. Once again, I'm Eric Concius, Make Tech Better, bringing a human touch to a silicon world. And thank you, Rebecca, Robert, Paul, Michelle. And again, really appreciate you attending this. We will see you next week. Take care.